Hi, let's continue the story of what causes bipolarity as I think of it. If you're lost, go to the table of contents, which is here and at the end of this video as well. The introduction to this playlist presented 5 factors that seem to be involved in bipolar. In this video, we'll look at genetic factors passed on from generation to generation. Here's an amazing graph. I hope you'll stick around and let me walk you through this. This one's from cancer research. I wish we knew as much about bipolarity, but we're getting there. The white swooping arc shows a region in which the risk of developing this cancer is increased. You can get this cancer by inheriting a lot of genes that don't individually add much risk, but they're common. Or you can get this cancer by inheriting a few genes that add quite a bit of risk. These are less common. And finally, you can get this cancer, if you're really unlucky, by inheriting a single gene that causes a huge risk. Years ago, the hope was to identify the gene for bipolar and schizophrenia, and no such genes have been identified. Instead, bipolarity seems to be associated with many genes, each with a relatively small effect. That's one of the reasons why they're hard to identify, these genes. So would it help if I name some of these genes so you can see we really do have some of this nailed down? Well, unfortunately, it seems like every time there's a big new study, it seems that some new genes are added and others that were previously identified didn't show up in the new study. Nevertheless, in 2021, a study identified 15 genes that are robustly associated with bipolar, such as those that are shown here. And a 2022 study found a gene that might have a stronger effect. This gene is the code for a protein that interacts directly with another protein that lithium strongly affects. The discovery of these variants of AKA P11 could lead to new treatments as well as a new understanding of the molecular roots of bipolarity. Here's another way to think of all this. Consider temperament, a person's mood baseline and range of variation. Some people get bigger doses of things like creativity and energy and risk-taking, or moodiness and self-focusing and anger or anxiety. Different mixes of these traits create thousands of subtle variations. So perhaps we can think of bipolarity as a collection of really powerful pigments like this one. Some people get a big dose of these pigments, and some just a little, and some none at all. The result is a spectrum of capabilities and mood tendencies. Then life circumstances from birth onward, indeed, even while still in mother's womb, affect how these capabilities and tendencies play out. They could be obvious from childhood or basically invisible until a traumatic event or puberty, which I think is a traumatic event for some people, bring out the rest of these underlying traits. So to conclude, first, bipolarity is a trait, not an illness. It can be part of a serious mood problem, including dangerous depressions and in some people, manic phases. And the bipolar trait can drive incredible creativity and accomplishment and determination and joy. So yes, bipolarity is partly genetic. It runs in families, that's clear. Which genes? That's slowly becoming more clear and really exciting to watch. So I plan to come back and revise this video when the next big discovery happens. Now, from here, you can continue to other videos in this playlist about the causes of bipolarity, or go back to the table of contents. Thanks for watching.